Have you ever noticed how some people change a room without raising their voice? No speeches, no arguments. They step back just an inch, and suddenly the air rearranges itself. People recalibrate. Someone who never noticed you starts to ask where you went. Someone who always pressed your buttons tries, and nothing happens. That's not magic. That's control of psychic energy, and it begins with a decision to stop being endlessly available. Let's be clear, this is not about becoming cold or playing petty games. Conscious unavailability is the opposite of manipulation. It's the refusal to let your nervous system be remote controlled by other people's urgency, guilt, or boredom. It's individuation in the simplest possible terms. Your life belongs to you again. Carl Jung taught that the persona, the mask we wear, keeps us acceptable but also keeps us obedient. When your persona is, "I'm always here, I always help, I always respond," your fate is set. People will build their comfort on your constant access. And every time you react on command, your energy becomes a public utility. Think of energy like breath under ice. You have one clear pocket. Every unnecessary argument, every instant reply, every fear-based explanation punches a hole in that pocket. By evening, you're gasping on the wrong side of the ice, wondering why you feel wrung out and oddly invisible. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Predictability is leverage for them. Mystery is leverage for you. When you stop being instantly available, you introduce latency. And latency returns choice. This is not abstract. Research in attention science has shown that constant context switching creates residual cognitive drag, attention residue, that follows you for minutes after every interruption. If your day is built on instant replies, you're living inside a fog you can't feel because it's become the weather. And when your head is foggy, other people's plans become your plans. But there's a deeper layer. Jung's idea of projection explains why people become agitated when you stop reacting. They aren't just losing convenience, they're losing a mirror. They projected a role onto you: the fixer, the responder, the audience, the emotional shock absorber. When you step back, their projection hits the floor, and they meet their own neediness in the silence. That's why they push harder. That pressure is not proof you're wrong. It's proof you're finally out of costume. Pause here and do a simple inventory. In the last week, where did you spend your energy? Arguing to be understood by someone invested in misunderstanding you. Explaining a boundary as if you needed permission to have it. Replying fast because you feared what a slow reply means. Saying yes to avoid a 5-second discomfort, and buying 48 hours of resentment. If you see yourself in any of those, congratulations. You just found a leak. Don't hate it. Name it. Then we begin. Conscious unavailability defined. It is the practice of inserting chosen silence between stimulus and response. It is a rule you live by. I do not surrender my energy to demand signals. I choose where it goes. That sounds philosophical, but it's operational. Watch. When criticized, you don't auto-defend. You observe. Does this require action? If not, you let the wave pass. When guilt is implied, so you're not coming, you do not explain your oxygen. You answer with the smallest possible truth. I can't. When urgency is projected, you check the source. Is it real? Yours? If not, you refuse the handoff. Make no mistake, silence is not absence. It's presence without performance. Let's ground this with a scene. A message pings. We need to talk. It's important, old you. Heart rate spikes, thumbs typing, calendar opening, anxiety rising. New you. Inhale through the nose, feel your feet, lay the phone face down. You give it time. 10 minutes later, A second text arrives with a detail that makes the situation clear and non-urgent. You reply, "I can call tomorrow between 3 and 3:30. Do you feel that? You didn't just schedule a call. You scheduled your nervous system. Why does this work? Because time is a solvent. Many manipulations depend on immediacy. Remove immediacy, and the emotional hook dissolves. And something else happens. People begin to respect the space around you because you respect it first. Let's talk about studies without drowning in citations. Findings from multiple universities have converged on a few simple facts. People who practice brief, intentional silence periods during the day show improvements in mood regulation and decision quality. Autonomy, choosing what to do and when, is consistently linked to higher well-being and resilience. Interruptions have a measurable afterglow that degrades performance beyond the interruption itself. The 7-Day CU Protocol. Day 1. Map the leaks. From wake up to sleep, note every moment you felt pulled to react. Write the trigger words. Now, urgent, disappointed, thought we said, you always, you never. At night, pick 2 triggers to target. Only 2. Day 2. Insert the pause. For those 2 triggers, when they appear, do nothing for 120 seconds. Breathe. Ask, what's the smallest true action? Often, it's a one-line reply or no reply. Day 3. Close the explanation tab. Practice the 4 scripts. Your goal is not to be clever, it's to be clear. If you feel the essay rising, close your mouth, feel your feet, and choose 1 sentence. Done. Day 4. Latency windows. Choose your response windows, e.g. 11:30 to 12, 4 to 4:30. Outside of those, your phone lives face down. Do not disturb on. This is not punishment. It's a sanctuary. Day 5. No rescue day. When familiar emergencies arrive, the ones that appear every week because someone else refuses to plan, say, "I can't today." No substitute offered. Notice the panic in your chest. Name it. Approval hunger. Breathe. It passes. Day 6. Sacred solitude hour. 1 uninterrupted hour with no inputs. Walk, write, or sit. The first 20 minutes feel itchy. The next 20 feel quiet. The last 20 feel like coming home. Day 7. Audit and adjust. Open your energy ledger. 3 columns. Gave, received, neutral. What patterns scream? Where did silence save you? Where did you relapse? Adjust the next week's 2 target triggers. Will 7 days fix a lifetime of reflexes? Number. But you will feel something unmistakable. Gravity returning to your spine. Let's address a common objection. Isn't silence passive-aggressive? It can be, if it's weaponized to punish. Conscious unavailability is not punishment. It's posture. You are not withholding to harm, you are pausing to choose. If you need to say something hard, say it directly. Silence is not a substitute for honesty. It is the precondition for it. Another objection. What if I lose people? You will. People who are attached to easy access, not to you. If your presence is only valued when it is free and instant, your absence is the most honest mirror you can offer. Respect follows scarcity. But scarcity must be paired with warmth, or it becomes ice. This is the paradox. Be harder to access, and when accessed, be fully present. It's the inconsistency, half present forever, that exhausts everyone. Let's go deeper. Shadow work. Why do you over-explain? Often because a part of you believes your needs are dangerous. Maybe as a child your no cost you affection. So you learned a workaround? Say yes quickly to keep the peace, then withdraw later in resentment. That cycle is a nervous system trying to be safe. Thank it and retire it. A new pattern is available. Slow, yes, clean no, no aftertaste. Practice this litmus test. The two gates. Is it true? Is it kind? If your words can't pass both gates, try silence. Not forever, just long enough to find a sentence that can. Let's bring this to ground with examples you can use today. Boundary scripts. Use verbatim if helpful. Not available. Try me next week. I don't do same-day decisions. I can't take that on. I'm not the right person for this. Let me get back to you tomorrow. And then decide tomorrow. Happy to help between 2 and 3. You set the window. I don't discuss that. A complete sentence. Notice the pattern. Simple, neutral, final. You don't owe a proof brief to claim your time. Let's talk physiology again, because you cannot outthink a nervous system in threat mode. Before any reply, drop your shoulders. Place your tongue on the roof of your mouth. Exhale until your belly softens. It sounds absurdly small. It is. And it's the difference between reacting from your wound and responding with your will. Something beautiful happens after a few weeks. Your presence thickens. You speak less and are heard more. You choose fewer fights and win the ones you choose. You feel less magnetic pull from other people's storms. The world doesn't quiet down, but your center does. I want to slip in one more research-backed point without making a lecture of it. When people operate with more autonomy, choosing their responses instead of being dragged by habits, they report higher life satisfaction and better emotional recovery from stress. Autonomy does not require a cabin in the woods. It requires 10 seconds of breath between the message and your thumbs. Now, let's address the hardest moment. When someone you love says, "You've changed." Maybe you have. Ask yourself, did I stop being kind? Or did I stop being convenient? Those are not the same crime. If you've grown sharper without compassion, soften. If you've grown firm without warmth, open your chest when you say no. But don't confuse cruelty with clarity. Clear is kind. Waffling is cruel. There's also this fear. If I don't explain, they'll assume the worst. Let them. People committed to misunderstanding you will misread a novel's worth of explanation. People committed to you will ask a curious question. That distinction, defensiveness versus curiosity, will save you years. Now, what about work? You can't vanish. Agreed. Apply CU like this. Latency windows negotiated with your team. I check messages at 10, 1, and 4. Expectation hygiene. If it's urgent, call me. If not, email. Scope guardrails. I can do A or B by Friday, not both. Choose. Meeting detox. Decline without essay. Won't add value here. Send notes. You're teaching people how to treat your time, and people learn fast when you're consistent. Let's talk ritual, the glue that makes this real. Daily CU micro rituals. The doorway rule. Every time you walk through a door, exhale fully. Reset. The first 15. No inputs for 15 minutes after waking. Meet your life before you meet the feed. The ledger. one line each night. Where silence saved me today. Cold water. A splash of cold water when you feel the compulsion to react. Physiology over psychology. Walk it once. If you're about to send a hot message, put your phone in your pocket and walk 1 minute. Then send or don't. I want to address one more thing. The loneliness that arrives when you stop performing. It's real. At first, silence feels like a room where someone forgot to turn on the light. Stay. Your eyes adjust. You'll start hearing your own voice, faint at first, then unmistakable. You'll discover you're not empty. You're spacious. There's room in you for your actual life. Here's a paradox you'll feel in your bones. The less available you are to the wrong people, the more present you become to the right ones. Because you're not spread thin over 30 fake obligations, you can pour thick attention into 3 real ones. Love deepens when it isn't diluted. A quick word on compassion. If you've lived as everyone's emergency contact, you're not broken, you're generous. Keep the generosity. Change the terms. Generosity without boundaries breeds resentment. Generosity with boundaries breeds trust. Let's craft a vow you can keep. Put a hand on your chest and say it under your breath. I decide how my energy is spent. I respond when I have chosen, not when I am chased. My silence is not a weapon, it is a home. You don't have to believe it yet. Say it until your breath believes it for you. The 24-hour silence challenge. Start today. For the next 24 hours, choose one domain: texts, DMs, or non-critical email. Insert a minimum 30-minute delay before all replies. Use one of the scripts. Breathe before you type. When someone pushes, hold your line kindly. Then write one sentence tonight in your ledger. Where did silence return my power? If this video found you in the middle of a life you did not choose, take this as a permission to step back 6 inches. You don't need to disappear. You just need to stop making yourself available to everything that asks. Not every knock is for you. Not every alarm is a fire. Not every feeling is a fact. A final image. Imagine your energy as clear water in a tall glass. Every argument you don't need. Every explanation no one earned. Every instant reply from fear. Each is a drop of ink. By noon, the water is gray. By sundown, almost black. Conscious unavailability is not about hating ink. It's about guarding the water, so that when someone worthy is thirsty, you have something pure to offer. If you needed a sign to start, this is it. Put the phone face down. Inhale. Feel your feet. Let 5 seconds of silence widen into a life that fits you. And when the world asks why you're quieter, smile and say the truest thing you can. I'm not gone. I'm finally here.